Have you ever heard about keel hauling, an ancient maritime punishment that made even the bravest sailors shudder in fear? This horrific practice has its origins in the Dutch language, keelhauling, meaning to drag along the keel. It was a form of punishment and potential execution once reserved for seafarers. Picture this. A sailor was bound to a line looped beneath the ship, then tossed overboard. The line would then pull the sailor under the ship's keel, dragging him from one side to the other or along the entire length of the ship, from bow to stern. The process was not uniform. It varied depending on the severity of the crime or the whims of those in command. The keel of a ship was often encrusted with barnacles and other marine growth, turning this already brutal punishment into a lacerating nightmare. Keel hauling was not just a punishment, it was a torturous ordeal that often resulted in death or severe injury. The fear of keel hauling didn't lie just in the act itself, but in the terrifying consequences it held for the unfortunate sailor. Keel hauling was not just a punishment, it was a spectacle of horror, a brutal ballet beneath the ship's belly. The hull, usually covered in barnacles and other marine growth, awaited the sailor like a bed of jagged knives. As he was dragged along this abrasive surface, the sailor would suffer serious lacerations, deep cuts that could later fester into infections and leave him scarred for life. But the dance of death didn't end there. If the sailor was dragged slowly, his weight might plunge him beneath the barnacles. Yet this seeming mercy held its own terror. The slower the drag, the greater the risk of drowning, the sea claiming the man as its own. Even the ship itself posed a threat. A sudden wave or an ill-timed movement, and the sailor could collide with the hull or keel, the impact potentially causing debilitating head trauma. The sailor would either be left disfigured or worse, lose his life to this brutal punishment. Keel hauling was executed with an eerie calm, a testament to its calculated and cold nature. The Dutch Navy's method was systematic, designed to maximize the punishment's chilling effect. The condemned sailor was weighed down with lead or iron, sinking him to a prescribed depth beneath the ship. The pulleys, fastened to the opposite ends of the main yard, would hoist him back up, his body scraping against the barnacle-encrusted hull. But the terror didn't end there. The sailor was given peculiar intervals to recover, a deliberate pause in the punishment only to accentuate the agony. And the Dutch Navy had a knack for timing. They often carried out this grisly sentence in the depth of winter, with ice flakes floating on the stream. The sailor would be nearly suffocated, half frozen and battered against the ship's bottom. Keel hauling was not just a punishment but a chilling display of maritime discipline, a terrifying ordeal that no sailor wished to experience.